and the dogs. Obviously, I'm Lisa and this is Paul.
I've got Buster here. I've got Buster.
And I've got Oreo and Buster's tail that you can see flicking up and down.
The Labrador.
Anyway, there's a reason we're jumping on now. We've just released the first proper vlog of the holiday. Now, I did the travel day. Don't run off. I did the travel day on the plane. So, when I was listening to it, obviously I was listening to it on headphones, which to me sounded fine. Which, incidentally, now that we've listened back to it, now we've seen it on the big TV, we're actually not very happy with it, are we?
No.
So, it's always been renowned, leave me alone. It's always been renowned that I do the filming and Paul does the editing. So I think that's what's going to happen now. Paul's going to take over the editing for me. Not because I can't do it, just because I'm struggling with it. And I've got so much. Now, what I intend to do is put the videos together, and then Paul will deal with the sound and everything else, won't you?
Yeah.
Why are you talking like a robot? Yep.
Yep.
I got more of a conversation out of you out the volcano after a conversation with the volcano bay yesterday when I was filming.
Yep.
Anyway, so Paul's going to take over most of the editing for me. I'm going to put the I'm sorry, I'm going to punch him in the head. I'm going to put the videos together, and Paul's going to do the editing. So you might find that a couple of the right little dog over there. You're hurting me over there. You might find a couple of the videos will disappear. Don't panic, we've just put them as unpublished for now, just while Paul does some editing on them. It's particularly the travel day vlog. Obviously, I was really struggling with the pain anyway. Now, the video that's gone out today, you will see that we've actually had 2 breakfasts in one day. We actually didn't. It was over 2 days because I was in so much pain. We tried to kind of keep it all together. Although the first 4 days... Stop it. The first 4 days we actually didn't film properly anyway because I was in that much pain. The footage you see at the beginning where we're at Diagon Alley was probably 4 days into the holiday, whereas the second part where we're actually having today cafe breakfast was actually the first day. So it's a bit of a mix, and you are going to find that across our vlogs because we didn't film consecutively where we had day 1 to day 14. That was the intention, wasn't it? Mm. But due to the fact that obviously I ended up in hospital on the first day, the pain levels were so extreme, the fact that some days I couldn't really talk because my mouth was so sore, it was just a pointless exercise. So you will see footage where I'm filming but we're not talking, and that's probably one of the worst days that we'd had, where I was really struggling with the pain. So Paul is going to take over the editing for me over the next couple of weeks. So the videos that are up at the minute will remain up for now. But Paul will take them down and re-edit them, particularly the travel day because of the flight noise. I didn't realise it was so loud that you could barely hear me. Oreo, leave me alone. Sorry, my little dog's now jumped down, now wants to try and get back up on Paul's knee. So we know we've got a few things that we need to do and edit. Obviously, the vlogging bit's all new to me, but filming is not. Filming and photography is not new to me. Editing to you's not new either, is it?
No.
You know, Paul's a singer. He's been a singer for a long time. So editing his own singing vlogs and singing channel at the time, which incidentally it's Paul Mather Official if you want to go and have a look. But the videos are 5 years old. So stay tuned. We have got a lot more footage. I'm just gonna move you. Bear with me. So we have got a lot, haven't we? To edit. Horror Nights we filmed pretty much out of the 8 nights that we did 8 nights in total. Out of the 8 nights that we actually filmed, we filmed 5 of them nights.
6.
I think 5 or 6 of them nights. So we've got a lot of Horror Nights. There is days where we have done intros and we have filmed throughout the day, but then there's been other days where it's been so warm or I've been in so much pain that it was the last thing on my mind. So stay tuned. We have got a couple coming up. We've got the Volcano Bay one, but we didn't really film a lot at Volcano Bay. My camera's waterproof. My phone was in a waterproof case, but we had a bit of a drama at Volcano Bay, didn't we?
Yeah.
Which we have put into the vlog. And then the next one after that is we did a crazy golf evening, didn't we?
Yeah.
Which was so much fun.
Was it Pirate Cove?
It was Pirate Cove. Well, we did 2, didn't we? We did Gator Golf, which seriously needs an update.
Yeah.
And we did Pirate Cove, but it was so much fun, wasn't it? I got a couple of all-in-ones.
I
I
didn't.
still didn't win though.
I didn't, and so didn't win either.
No, you didn't. I don't think you won. Oh no, you did. You got third in the Gate of Golf, and I lost. And then I got third at Pirate Cove, and you lost. So we did well, really, didn't we?
Yeah, Ryan and Deanne cheated.
They did not cheat.
They didn't.
They didn't cheat.
I'm just a sore loser.
So while I've got Paul, because it's very rare for me to get Paul to actually sit down and have a normal conversation, because there is nothing normal about Paul. Overall, what did you think of the holiday, Paul?
Yeah.
Overall, what did you think of the holiday? Meet Paul. Please, just be normal for 5 minutes. What did you think of the holiday overall? Bear in mind, we haven't been since 2015.
Loads of changes that were new to me. We tried loads of new things that we didn't try before. I do agree with the decision of taking Disney parks out of our kind of planning, because we did have.
Sorry.
We did have a lot of.
Sit down.
Do we say when we went in 2015, we had a lot of time where it was like arranged with other people, whereas this time we arranged it ourselves.
We didn't have a plan, did we? That was the one thing. We didn't work on a plan in any way, shape, or form.
We just went, and then we enjoyed what we enjoyed, and it was one of them. Would we do it again? Definitely, all day, all night, whatever. I'm just looking forward to Epic Universe, because I think that is going to be the what's the thing on the camel's back? What do you call it?
Break the hump on the camel's back.
Something like I don't even know what that thing anyway.
The thing with Epic Universe is, obviously we saw the construction while we were there, and you could see the outer facades of all the hotels actually going on. If you look on our Instagram, on Dyslexic and Delusional Instagram, you'll actually see, I think there's 20 pictures in total that I've put on of the construction, and the fact that we can see I'm going to punch him in the head in a minute, I swear I am. The fact that you can see the roller coasters, everything. So the thing with the next holiday for us is there's a possibility that we might be flying to California first, but that's just a small possibility right now, isn't it? We are currently thinking about it, because obviously, as you plainly know, I've told you right at the start, before we actually flew, Paul's petrified of flying. But to be fair, you didn't have so much of an issue this time round, did you?
I was nervous, but I didn't feel as scared this time round.
And what's your reason for that?
I decided to play an Xbox game called Flight Simulator. So I played that quite regularly. I tried to do the flight path, and I learned about the plane and the destination from and to, and then I tried to fly it on my game. That was one part of me kind of like becoming into a realization zone of I've got to sit on this tube for 9.5 hours when I'm scared of flying in the first place. And then I also watched pilot vlogs. Now I don't know if any of you have watched pilot vlogs, but I watched basically like some that do chartered, some that do like private, some that are commercial, and I was watching vlogs from pilots all around the world, and like how their day starts and what they do, and I did feel that probably helped in relation of.
They also told you
fear of flying.
Some of them were about fear of flying, and they actually told you things like, if from 40,000 feet to 10,000 feet, they can do it in less than 4 minutes. So you've got the oxygen to do it. It would be a steep dive, but they can do it. So you would never lose oxygen if they know about it. You're less likely to fall out of the sky. You're more likely to walk out the front door and get run over by a car. Which I think helped Paul, because he knew what was coming. We found a pilot vlogger that flew from the Ukraine. Now, I'm guessing this was before everything that happened. And he actually filmed in the cockpit. Now, I do know that, I think it's the FDA refused to let anybody film in a cockpit. It's against the law. Obviously, the Ukrainian laws are different. And he flew from the Ukraine to somewhere.
I can't remember where
it wasn't far from the UK, was it?
I was watching. I think he might have gone to Germany.
Yeah.
Somewhere in Germany.
And the whole flight he filmed. Obviously he sped it up, but that helped, didn't it? Because you could plainly see what he was doing. And this is the problem with somebody with PTSD. If they're not in control, they struggle. Obviously, Paul's not in control of the flight. He's not in control of the plane. So I think watching that vlog, you saw then, didn't you, like when they reached V1, when they obviously they took off and everything else.
Yeah.
And I think that eased your mind a lot, didn't it?
Yeah, it did ease my mind. Don't get me wrong, I was still scared, and I think I'm probably millions are scared of flying, but initially, because they're not in control either, and the things can happen because of movies like with planes falling out of the sky, that never happened in real life, but movies I think play a huge part in the fear of flying. And I think they should really kind of, when they're putting their movies together, the story writers and the creators, they should really look at that and look at, you know, how many people really have that fear, and maybe do a film. Like, for instance, when the plane landed in the Hudson River in New York, that was kind of like factual. So yes, a plane can land in a river, and everyone survived it.
You can land in the ocean and all.
Exactly.
This is what they were saying. One of the particular pilots, which actually works for Virgin in the UK, he was saying most planes can be turned into a glider, so they can glide it to the ground if they absolutely have to, and if they've got enough space, they can land it. You know, I've seen programs and like air crash investigators. I watched a plane land on marshland in America, and everybody got off the plane in one perfect thing.
Not for me, that.
Anyway, but my point stands. They actually took off from that marshland as well to get it back to the airport. Basically, they just had an engine fault, and they don't know what caused this engine fault. But once they started the engines up again, it was fine. It was as if the fuel wasn't going to the engines.
I think we're watching the pilot vlogs. I learned stuff that I would never actually have like really took notice of. But I never knew that a plane this current day can land itself without the pilot. Yeah, so back to what I was saying regarding the facts that I obtained from pilot vlogs was the plane doesn't need anyone to be in control of it to land. The plane can actually land itself
on autopilot.
So again, that put my mind at ease, because I'm thinking, well, if anything happened to say the main pilot and like the first officer in the cockpit, they actually have also trained. Some airlines have trained their cabin crew to land the plane as well.
You learned,
That's another new thing that I learned, where cabin crew are trained to land the plane. So if autopilot, for instance, for that particular airport or something, I needed to get down fast and something happened, the cabin crew can take over and contact air traffic control.
Yeah. And
they'll be guided down the aircraft down to a safe landing.
So here's my question. For other people that are frightened to death of flying, like you were, and I say were because you were a lot better on these two
still
flights.
am. That's never going to go.
The last time you flew, you were sick, weren't you?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I was
the time before that, you pretty much sat there like this. As wide-eyed as you could possibly imagine. Every small noise, bump, crack.
I was so nervous.
He was like, whereas this time round. Anyway, would you highly recommend anybody that's frightened of flying watching pilot vlogs and understanding?
Yeah, and I'd also as well recommend even getting like Flight Simulator if you do have an Xbox. And I'm just learning.
He's not endorsing Xbox, by the way.
I'm not endorsing Xbox at all. What I'm saying is that the Flight Simulator game that's on the Xbox One, you can. I think you need an S though. You can't do it on a standard Xbox. You need to have the Series S or X to play the game. But then when you get that, if you can like fly the flight path from leaving whichever airport in the UK you're flying from,
or around the world,
to, for instance, MCO, or we flew into not Sanford. We flew into Melbourne, but again, you can choose Sanford and you can do the flight path. So things like that, plus the pilot vlogs, I do feel that they really help me to calm my nerves, and not saying get rid of the fear of flying, but to help that bit, and getting the facts from pilots and cabin crew regarding their like daily lives, how many like flights they do, whether it's like integral within the US or whether it's flying further afield. So you just watch them, and I do feel that it would help a little.
Okay, last question. flight into Melbourne. What was it like? Getting into Melbourne, all that.
Yeah, I mean, overall, flying over there, I tend to anytime I fly, I tend to try and kind of rest my eyes anyway because I know what's coming. I.e., we've got 9.5 hours on it, so you'll see from some of the YouTube, some of the YouTube videos that I'm like majority of the time I've got my eyes closed. Well, that's just a coping mechanism for myself, and I obviously had a movie on, so I was listening to that. I closed my eyes.
You were sleeping. He's a big fat liar.
I wasn't sleeping. I was just...
Every time I filmed, as you plainly saw on the Travel Day vlog, Paul was asleep.
No, I wasn't sleeping.
Anyway, that's not the question, though, is it?
No, that's just... I mean, overall, flying into Melbourne and the experience on the flight and with TUI and the crew and everything like that, you couldn't fault them. There was on hand if you needed anything. Brilliant. No, I can't complain. The landing... The takeoff was brilliant. The landing was smooth as anything. Didn't even know we landed. It was that smooth.
I said we've landed. He went, have we?
I cannot fault the TUI pilots or pilot.
We actually had the same two pilots flying home.
Yeah, and the same crew with the same.
No,
apart from a couple changed out.
Yeah, a couple changed out. Yeah,
but we still had some that we recognised from the way there coming back. We recognised them.
We did. Now, would you fly back into Melbourne again?
I don't know. Maybe probably, yeah. I mean,
so I found at Melbourne Airport, you get off the plane, you get your bags, you go through security, you're done. Coming back, you go through security, you're at your gate. Straight away. Manchester Airport, you walk in 10 days either direction. So that was a bit of a pain in the butt, wasn't it?
But it was good. It was good that they had literally your duty free, your bar, your what did you pick up from the bottom?
Dunkin' Donuts.
Dunkin' Donuts. So you had your but
it wasn't massive.
Near the gate. It's literally everything is there at your gate.
Whereas Manchester Airport, you have to have a 10-day camel ride, don't you?
Yeah, you have to walk forever to get to the gate. But this time it was so content and easy. Just to your toilets were dead. There was no walking anywhere, was there? It was everything was contained in it. Well, because it's only a tiny airport, everything was contained, but it was brilliant. I loved it. Whereas MCO, you're trekking forever, then you got to go to your baggage area, and then you got to.
Oh no, you got to get through security first.
So that takes more time. I got searched on the way. I got searched. On the way,
right. So you got searched on the way there,
and I got searched on the way back.
But the search on the way back was even worse. So we went through the scanner where you have to put your arms up and you put your feet on, and then hang on, I turned round and they were carting Paul into a side room, and I'm thinking, oh my god, what's going on? And he didn't. Ryan and Deanne burst out laughing and found it hilarious. I actually didn't. At this point, my heart is in my mouth because we're in America. What the hell has Paul got on him that they're panicking about? And they took him into this side room, and I've got all his stuff, and I'm sitting on this bench thinking, what the hell's going on?
Security asked me, would you like us to search you here, or would you like us to do it privately? The security person asked me. And I said, what do you mean? She said, well, you've come up on the scanner that you've got something around your groin area and also around the rear. So apparently I had something that they needed to investigate, the groin area. So she said, do you want us to do it here or private? And I'm like, well, in the position that it's showing on that screen, I would prefer to do it private, please.
Now bear in mind, I knew none of this.
So the guy took me into a side room and got another member of staff, because obviously they have to have two members of staff when they're doing searches of this nature. And I literally got padded in both areas by the security staff, because it's showing up like a red square or something. I don't know. And then they said, yeah, you're right, you're done, and let me go, and that was it, done. But
now the one thing for me and Paul is we don't take drugs. We both smoke and we both have a drink, but it's very rare for us both to have a drink. But
have a drink.
But drugs. So when this came up, I'm thinking, oh my god, what the hell's he done? What's going on? Because Paul and Ryan are both renowned for cracking jokes at the wrong times, and that's, to be honest, what I thought he'd done. Anyway, so I would fly into Melbourne. I think the fact that we were off the plane, got the luggage, through security and out the doors within less than 15 minutes was incredible. When we flew into MCO in 2015, we were there for 45 minutes before we even got through security.
It was a hassle.
When we got to MCO, back to Melbourne, to fly home, they checked the cases, off they went, we walked down the corridor, through security, into the area where your gates are. So, to me, although it was a long trek, wasn't it, on the coach, to be fair, they did put a Disney movie on, and I was sat there watching this Disney movie, which I need to incidentally finish now, because they've started it and I haven't finished it yet. Although it was a fair distance out, when we go again, I would pay for oh my God, Lisa, try that again.
Private transfer?
Yes. Both there and back, just because stopping and starting on the coach was a nightmare. And the fact that we had to leave the hotel at 1:30 when the flight was at 10:06.
No,
wasn't it?
Originally it was 20 to 7.
Originally it was 10 to 7.
10 to 7.
And then it got moved, which was
Because
fine.
storm coming in. They moved it because of the storm.
They did move it because of the storm. But to be fair, we made it home in 7.5 hours, didn't we?
Just under.
Just under 7.5 hours. So, to be fair, we didn't do bad, did
No,
we?
we didn't do bad, no.
No. So, I would overall fly with TUI again. Although the food coming back, I pretty much needed an hammer and chisel for, didn't I? You didn't eat it, did you?
No, it was, no.
So I think next time we fly with TUI, we are going to go premium. That is an absolute no-brainer, isn't it?
Well, I say that, and they had that screaming kid in premium, and
no, they didn't. It wasn't in premium. That.
Well, where was it?
It was.
It
That
right
was in the.
front of the plane.
It wasn't at the front of the plane. Premium was at the front. Then it was the middle section, and we were at the back.
I thought it was at the front because they were going to swap with that fella next to us.
No.
Was it not?
No.
I thought they said we'll upgrade you to premium because of the kid screaming. They need to get the kid back. To
No.
back on the plane.
You missed. No, you missed a step there. Right. So, long story short, we had a child on board which had autism, from what we can gather, was throwing things around the plane. Now, the screaming child, we understand. Some kids don't like flying, some kids hurt their ears when they fly. We get that, we do. This particular child was throwing stuff at people, from what we can gather. So what they did is they moved. So we had an empty seat at the side of us, an empty seat at the side of Ryan and Deanne, and the row next to us was one man in it. So they said to him, if we upgrade you to premium, are you willing to move so we can use your 3 seats? And what they wanted to do was, people around this child, they wanted to move them away and bring them back to where we were, where it was a little bit quieter. And he agreed, but incidentally, the child, once we'd taken off, she calmed down, didn't she? And I did feel sorry for both mum of this little one, and obviously everybody around, because people get annoyed when a child's got autism, because they can't control it. And unfortunately, that's what happens.
They don't understand it either.
No, they absolutely do not. So as somebody that's being tested for autism and ADHD right now, I 100% get that. And I did feel for the little one's mum, I did. Because people were staring at her and it wasn't her fault. That child just didn't understand. But anyway, to be fair, it is what it is. So, no, they were in the middle cabin. We were at the back, they were in the middle. So I would fly with premium, because they have a premium lounge at MCO, at Melbourne.
At Melbourne, where you can smoke.
Which killed Paul,
Which I was like, that was one thing that did annoy me about that. So I thought, so your premium seat holders, like, they get access to a smoking area because they're premium. Hang on a minute. What about all the other smokers? We were forced, obviously, like, because we wasn't premium. Let's say you couldn't even get a premium ticket when you booked the flight. So that's wrong. They're treating people differently. Everyone should have access to the smoke area, or not. End of. They shouldn't do that. That is.
No, I agree with that. It's like
order.
Manchester telling you that you can't go to the smoking area if you're not in premium. I get it. I do get it.
Exactly.
But I also see it from their point of view, because the smoking area is actually in the premium lounge. It's outside of. It's like a decking on the outside of the premium lounge, from what I can gather.
Well, they should do a corridor to it.
I agree. I don't disagree with you, Mister. I'm high and mighty.
No,
I
just think it's unfair, because if you wanted to fly premium, and you tried to, because you are a smoker and you want to go for a smoke before you fly, because you are nervous, i.e. fear of flying, blah blah blah. You can't calm your nerves with a cigarette because you can't access the freaking thing.
Okay. Right. So.
But That's
Seeing as this was supposed to just
Ran
be
over.
this was supposed to be a small update, but actually we're going to carry this on now. So the next trip for us.
I'm not. I need to vacate the sofa.
Just wait a minute before you vacate the sofa.
I need to vacate the sofa.
You can wait for 1 minute. Right. So the next trip for us is what we've got on the cards right now. Is we're gonna travel down to London and do the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, aren't we?
Yeah.
At Leaveston Studios. We are looking at doing Disneyland Paris for 3 or 4 days, aren't we? That's one of the plans, isn't
Probably
it?
3, I think.
Disneyland Paris, because I want to see what they've done with like Marvel Universe over there. We've got a couple of Lego shows coming up, but they'll be on the Brick of Lease Lego channel. And the next big one, obviously, will be in 2026, won't it?
Mm-hmm.
So we do have a few small travel plans.
We've got other stuff
We
to
do travel to the northeast as well. So the plan is next time we travel to the northeast is to do something different and take you with us. We might even go up to the Angel of the North because I haven't done it yet. Take you guys with us. So we are still going to vlog, aren't we? You know, it might not be every day, but we are going to attempt to vlog. So thank you so much for listening to the pair of us babbling on. And we will be back. Paul will be back with the new edits out. Paul will be back with the new edits very soon.
Babylon, please.
Stop now. And they say I'm the delusional one.
Me.
You're an idiot.